Hello, eighth grade. So this week we will be looking at solving systems of equations through the process of substitution. So remember last week we looked at systems of equations by graphing. We had two lines, we graphed them. The intersection point was our answer. Now we are going to be looking for how to get that intersection point, right? How to get that value without having to graph. So we're going to learn the algebraic process. And the first process we're going to learn is substitution. Next week, we're going to look at elimination. And that'll round out systems of equations for us. So this week is substitution. We've done substitution throughout this semester or throughout this school year, a couple of different times. Now, substitution is the process of replacing a variable with an equivalent, make sure we spell it right, equivalent value. So we're going to take a variable, say x, say y, and replace it with something that it is equal to. So we have an example we're going to follow. We're going to put down 4 steps so that you've got some good notes. Okay, and we're going to talk about what the solution means. So in our example, we have this first equation, y minus 2x equals 4, and 6x plus 2y equals 18. And our goal is to find out what does x equal, what does y equal. So the first thing we're going to do is take this top equation, y minus 2x equals 4, and we're going to rewrite it, which is a skill we learned last week. We are going to rewrite it so that y is single like a Pringle, chillin' like a villain. So in order to do that, right, I would need to cancel this minus 2x. It's a minus, so to do the opposite, we're going to add 2x on both sides. We add 2x on both sides of that equals sign, and that would give us this equation, y equals 2x plus 4. Okay, so our first step is to solve an equation for a single variable, okay, which is what we did here. We solved the equation to know what y is. Okay, we've rewritten it. Now, follow the arrow. We're going to take this part of the equation, and anywhere that we see a y, we can replace it because y and 2x plus 4 are exactly the same thing. They are equal. So in our 6x plus 2y equals 18, I'm going to replace the y with this 2x plus 4. Okay. Now we're going to go through the process of solving this so we can find out what x is, what value the letter x is going to have in our equation. Okay. But step 2 is the substitution step. So substitute for your variable. Forgive me, I'm still dealing with my finger, so my typing's a little wonky this week. So we're going to substitute for a variable in the second equation. Okay. Now we're going to start solving. So when I look at this equation, 6x plus 2 times 2x plus 4 equals 18, whenever you've got something in parentheses like that, that is a big old distribution right there. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply 2 times everything inside of that, and I'm going to write down what we still have. So 6x is not changing, but 2 times 2x is going to give us 2 times 2 is 4, so plus 4x. And 2 times 4 is going to give us 8. Bring down your equal sign, boom. Okay. Now we're going to keep solving. We're going to look for some like terms in this problem. And I can see right here I have 6x and 4x. So quickly add those up, math it out. 6 plus 4 is going to give us 10x. Bring everything else down. Okay. Now we've got a nice little 2-step equation here. We just got to get that x by itself. So the first thing we want to do is subtract that 8 from both sides. So we minus 8 on both sides. That would leave us with 10x on the left. And on the right-hand side, 18 minus 8 is going to give us another 10. Very, very last step, we need to divide both sides by that 10 to get that out of there. The left side leaves us with an x. The right side, 10 divided by 10, is going to leave us with a 1. Okay? So once we know what we have, well, x equals 1. So step 3 is what we just completed. Step 3, solve the equation to find the value of the remaining variable. So we solved that equation to find that value. The remaining variable here was our x, so x equals 1. Once you know one of those variables, we can go back and figure out what the second one is. So we can figure out what number y would actually be. So I'm going to come on down here. We have y minus 2x equals 4. And we're just going to substitute one more time. Anywhere you see an x, we can use the number 1 now. So I'm going to replace that x with a 1. Y minus 2 times 1 equals 4. You can quickly math that out. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. So some number minus 2 equals 4. Solve that out real quick, right? We had y minus 2 equals 4. You can add 2 to both sides. And we find out that y equals 6. Okay, so the very, very last step here to solve is then substitute and solve to find the other variable. Okay, so we know we have y equals 6. So the final answer, you want to write it as an ordered pair because remember, we're finding that intersection point. Final answer, my x is 1, my y is 6. Boom, that's it. Okay? What does a solution mean in a system of equations? So the solution is the point where the lines intersect. Okay? So that's what we're looking for, but without having to try and plot your points and graph and do it that way. So this, once you know your math skills and you've been practicing those, is actually a much easier way to figure things out. All right? Once you've completed your notes, get that turned in on Google Classroom, and then you can get started on your assignment. All right? Good job, everybody.